Hello guys, it's Evelina here. Today as well I have my beautiful friend Amina with me. We are just going with the flow, I guess, with our recording. First of all, we started just to train our powerful voice because Amina was struggling with the speaking in front of camera and now she became super master of it.
Yeah, a super master, I don't know, but yeah, I feel more comfortable. I have to say, but this is so
That's
funny,
amazing.
and thanks to you. She's so lovely for that.
Thank you, my love.
Yes.
Anyway, our topic for this conversation, it will be abusive relationships. And it's a hard topic, but it's something what both of us experienced in our previous, years. For me, I was very young actually. I was 16 years old when it started, and I was in the relationship like that for over 2 years. And yeah, would like to just discuss what actually brought us into staying in this kind of relationship with someone who's hurting you emotionally, physically, and how we reached the point where we looked at ourselves in that relationship and we were like, oh my god, how the hell I reached that point? How is it even possible? So yeah, that's what we're gonna discuss,
Yes.
and it might be a little tough. I feel already
Yes,
stressed, but it's
yes.
good to talk about, I think. And I believe if I would be this years ago seeing conversation of someone talking about it, it could really help me to just look more into my own emotions and to understand what actually drives me into putting myself into this kind of situation.
And yes, and I think that we are all the girls concerned about this topic. We think that, it would never happen to
Oh yeah.
to me because no, I'm strong, it's impossible, I know how to handle myself with men. But actually, I think like once in the life of every girl happens something an abusive in any kind of way. It is like, so every single day there's things that happen between women and men, and I think it's important to see what are the boundaries in a relationship, because sometimes we just let us abuse without putting any boundaries. I think that is normal, and there are so many things that are not normal, and we just end up to an abusing relationship without knowing
Yeah.
and
Because it comes
realizing.
step by step.
Yes.
It never comes, I think, I don't know if never, but at least for me it was such a little subtle steps. You know, like at the beginning, when I met this guy, I just thought like, wow, he's so powerful, so in his power. I was feeling, like I could feel safe next to him. That's what I was thinking, because he was, like strong, big, and in this time of my life I saw him like someone very masculine. I don't know what I was saying through that, but oh my god, it's crazy just. Anyway, at the beginning it would just come with the words, so maybe I would hear some, disrespectful words towards me, and I would be like, oh my god, how can you talk to me like that? I'm taking a step back. But then he would come to me, he would say, I'm so sorry, I would never ever want to hurt you, I'm sorry I was so disrespectful. So I would be like, okay, it's fine, I'm forgiving you. But then it would come another thing and another, and it would be first thing maybe pushing me, maybe then stronger argument, maybe then kicking me, slapping me, and it was just going step by step more and more far until during, like it was of course long time, but then I just looked at myself and I realized, shit, I really reached super far, and I would never ever think that I can be in this kind of situation. But I was feeling like I am with two people at the same time. I was very young, as I said, I was only 16 years old, so I was totally not mature and not ready for serious relationships, but that's what I went into. And I was feeling like at one moment I am with the person who's so super abusive towards me, in the emotional way, in the physical way, and I would just keep going into that. But then the same person had this other phase where he was so willing to change, so suffering and crying, coming to me with all this tears, with all this pain, and telling that I really want to change, I love you so much, I just don't want to be that person, I want to change, and I can change with you, through you, you can help me to heal. And I would just, like, have this kind of victim in me. I was doing victim from my own self, because I was basically lacking some self-love and self-acceptance for my own self. So then when I was next to the person who is abusive towards me, I would see myself as someone better, maybe, as someone, who is helping the other person. So maybe people from the outside could look at me and say, oh my God, look at that girl. She's such a good girl. She's such a good person with so good heart, helping this man who's abusing her, helping him to change and still being by his side. And it's so, like, crazy to look at that. But yeah, that's exactly what I had in my mind at that point, when I was just not loving myself, not accepting myself, and I was searching for that love from the outside, for some approval from the external world, so I can actually approve my own self, and I can see myself in some better light, which sounds totally sick, but this is what was in my head at that point.
It is exactly the same. I cannot change any words. For me, it was exactly the same, but it happened later. I was 28.
Okay.
It lasted for 2 years also. For 2 years, and at that time, 28 years old, I met this guy, and I knew that he was a bad boy. And when I started a relationship, I didn't think that I would stay with him longer. But it was really tricky at the beginning, because already at the beginning, he just triggered me and figure out just to stay at my place. So he was supposing to leave the country.
Mm-hmm.
So we started the story. I knew that he was like hitting the girls, that he was a bad boy. But I was like, oh no, it won't happen to me.
Mm.
And suddenly, after 1 month, I remember he was supposing to leave. And he came to me like, oh, I cannot leave the country. I finally fall in love. We have an amazing relationship. I cannot leave. And it is exactly like you, like the lack of love that I had for myself. I was looking for outside. Yeah. And because I had this man just in front of me that he was like so in love with me, I was like, okay, I'm going to have to change. With me, he's going to change. And I remember,
I will be his medicine. I will help him to change.
I will help him with all my love. And I was so strong, so powerful at that time. And I knew that I had this power for him. And he tried to change, so he was changing. And I was so proud. I was like, oh, he did this only for me. That he was so in love with me. And he started to scream. And I remember the first time I was so shocked. I was like, no, I'm going to put the boundaries. And it became really unhealthy, because I had like this power of telling to him my boundaries.
Okay.
And manipulating him in somehow, because I knew that he was in love with me, that he would do everything. So I was like, for me, I was secure by thinking, oh, anyway, I can put boundaries. I can control him. He won't hit me because he loved me so much. He was telling me all the time, I will never hit you. And every time when he was screaming on me, I was shocked. And I was like, no, you cannot do this. And I was trying to show him the best way how to become good. And yeah, he was like changing, but he couldn't change completely, because he was sick.
So deep already.
Yes, it was so deep. And the relation went really down until once he hit me. And I remember this day I just woke up and I was like, it happened to me. Because I was sure that it wouldn't happen to me. And at that time, I never realized that I had a lack of confidence and a lack of love. So I just stayed in this relation because I was really scared. He was kind of really violent. He was breaking the house, screaming like so bad words. I remember one time he was just pushing me. I just got rejected against the wall, and I ran away from the house because he used to close myself in the apartment.
Sounds familiar.
And I was running outside, and he just ran after me, break up a bottle, and just like run like a crazy behind me. The police just started to stop him. He got fined, but it didn't help anything. And it was like, at the end, I forgot everything. And I was like, I couldn't go outside from this relation. And I was really stuck.
It's so hard to leave, actually.
Yes, exactly.
Even if you want to leave, like, at least in my case, it was, I wanted to leave. I said, okay,
Yes,
I'm done with that.
exactly.
I'm leaving.
Exactly.
But he was just everywhere. Wherever I would
Exactly.
go, he would be. I would leave the school, he would be there. I would go home, he would be there. Everywhere, everywhere. And I was just so in fear and
In
so unsafe.
fear.
And it was like really, I don't want to go to details because it will take too much, but it was one of the hardest months definitely of my life. But I went through that because at the point where I decided this is finished, this is over, I cannot go through that anymore. And I was so sure about I'm taking that step, that final step, and I'm not gonna give up now. And I was only by myself in that, only alone, because there was nobody at this point from my family because they actually left for some kind of holiday. I remember I was home alone. So it was so difficult because I was so scared, like he was everywhere around me and I was just completely unsafe and a lot of bad things happened during this time. But I just remained firm. I just remained firm. I knew that this is all, that this is finished, that this is over, and I'm not gonna step into that anymore. I was only 18 at that time. I was so young still and so, like, and I was not yet ready to open, to be myself. I was so lost, so scared in everything in my life at that point, basically. But once I took this decision, I just stick to that. First, I was looking for some help, but I was not really looking for it fully because, like, I would talk to my family maybe in some way, but then on the other hand, I was still trying to protect him, to cover him, basically, that he's not so bad person.
Exactly.
And it was crazy. It was crazy. Like, I wanted help because I couldn't handle it myself in some way, but I couldn't admit. I couldn't ask for this help so fully because it would say also that I am so wrong, that what the hell am I doing with that person if he's treating me in that way? So I was trying to make him look a little better, in some better light. And it was totally crazy. So,
and to find, yes, exactly, because as you said just before, he has like two personalities. The one which was really completely love and the other personality. And I remember I was forgiving him a lot because of his past, because he has a difficult childhood, and I was, oh, poor him, he was having this, so I kind of understand him, why he was doing this, and finding always reason why I was staying with him, and why he's like that, and just finding all the time reason. And at the end, you just lose yourself. You just see the others in front of you, and you don't have any space for you, of what you really want. And the thing is, like you, I was like so afraid of what's gonna happen. I got a certificate of when he hit me, but I could never give to the police, never, because I was so afraid, because he was capable to kill me, or he tried so many times to suicide himself because I wanted to break up, manipulating my emotions, and you don't know what to do, so you just prefer just to remain quiet.
But that's not the way.
No, it's not the
It's not the
way.
way.
It's not the way.
And it's really hard topic, and there is not one way, I think, to get out of
No.
it. But we just have to understand, like, we can help people, of course. We can love others, we can help others, but not through the price of harming ourselves
Yes.
so badly, of suffering so badly, in order to help someone, because that's never gonna help that person at the end.
No,
It's
never.
just, I don't believe it's gonna help.
No.
Because you are just harming yourself more, you're losing yourself completely, and just going into something so dark. So you're just sinking into the darkness together with that person, basically, because that's what happens. And you need to seek help from someone else, someone outside, and you need to find your own power. It's very hard to say because every situation is, of course, different. But for me, that was the biggest blessing, to get out of this. Just to get
Yes,
out of this.
exactly.
Just to step back. No matter how hard was that, no matter how much I was hoping that I can help that person to change, how I can help that person to heal, no matter how I was thinking that I still love that person, but I just had to get out of it. And when I got out of it, it was really hard because it was taking time, taking my energy. It cost me so much fear and so much pain, but that was the most smart, the best step I could take. And yeah, I think I know from experience of many friends as well who are in similar situation, who are trying someone also to change with love and all of those things. But at the end, in this level of just craziness in the relationship, it was not working, it was not helping.
No.
So I felt like we have to step out, we have to heal ourselves, we have
Yes.
to find ourselves, we have to find that love and acceptance for ourselves. Instead of looking for it from the external world,
And to the other.
instead of hurting ourselves through being with someone who's harming us, so we can be, some like good Mother Teresa or
Yes,
someone who's,
exactly.
healing the world. We need to heal ourselves
First.
before we try to help anyone around, before we try to heal anyone around. If we are not fine with ourselves, with our own self, then it's not possible to help others.
No.
Like, it's so simple when people say you have to love yourself first before you love others, and that's so totally true.
It is so true. It is simple, but it is so true. And most of the time we are like looking the love through the other. This is what happened most of the time.
It's also a long journey.
Yes.
It's also a long journey. Now, when I look at myself back at this time, like, it looks totally unrealistic to me, because now I'm over 10 years after that, and I went through some different relationships which were really beautiful lesson for me. And now today I am in the most fulfilling, the most loving relationship ever with the man who I love with all my heart, and I know he loves me with all his heart. And I just have to say that there are some basic foundational things in the relationship which just has to be if we want to be happy, if we want to really love and be loved. If they are not there, there is no way that the relationship will work. And this is respect, which is the first thing. This is love. And love doesn't mean I love you, I love you, I love you, I love you. It means really loving, really feeling that that person gives you your heart, gives you their heart. Because if this is not there,
you cannot find.
And if there is any kind of, like, violence, this is totally not gonna work.
Yes, exactly. And violence, when she meant, it can be like any type of violence. It can be either just a word of non-respect is not acceptable.
Yeah.
Because love, there's no violence. It's all about respect. And this is how to set the boundaries between another one and ourselves, that it is possible to have a healthy relation.
Yeah.
It is
Totally
possible just to have conflict without screaming. It is possible to argue without insulting. Everything is possible.
Of course.
Yes.
We just have to also ourselves be ready for it. We have to ourselves just become mature to this kind of relationship. And all of those previous relationships where we are suffering so much, I think they are necessary in some way, because they are giving us the lesson. They are teaching us what do we actually want from the relationship, what is meaningful when you are with someone, how can you create that healthy partnership. So I think we have to do all our mistakes, we have to learn all our lessons in order to just
grow
to
and
grow.
to become closer to who you are. But yeah, like also relationship shows the mirror of ourselves. And if we meet those people, that shows that we have to work something with us.
With ourselves as well. Definitely.
Yes. So I got bite from everywhere.
There are many mosquitoes. We are in India.
Yes.
And yeah, in the evening there are many mosquitoes.
Yes, jungle are amazing, but mosquitoes are not.
Okay, I think that's enough, no?
Yes, thank you.
Thank you so much as well. Thank you. And thank you for watching. Thank you for joining us.
Yes, hope that it will help you.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Bye bye.
Bye bye.
Oh my god.
Oh gosh, babe, it's amazing. But I got bite so crazy.